Hello and welcome to the IBHS Research Center. My name is Christina Gropp, and today, February 22nd, marks 100 days until the start of the 2021 hurricane season. I know, it's hard to believe that it's already time to be thinking about tropical weather, but now is the perfect time to start preparing your home for the season ahead. It's too early to talk about forecasts for what this hurricane season might bring us, but it is time to start preparing your home. The 2020 hurricane season sure taught us why early preparation for hurricane season is so important. The entire hurricane coastline from Texas all the way along the Gulf Coast, all the way up the eastern seaboard, all the way to Maine was under some kind of tropical storm watcher warning, storm surge watcher warning, or even a hurricane watcher warning at some point during the 2020 hurricane season. And when those watches and warnings start coming out from the National Hurricane Center, well, that's not the time to wonder if your home is ready. Now is the time to prepare when you have 100 days to get your home ready for hurricane season. Now, good news, the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety has made it really easy to help you get your home ready for hurricane season. We've created the Hurricane Ready Guide, and it's up on our website, disastersafety.org/hurricane ready. Again, that's disastersafety.org/hurricane ready. You can find a link to it right down in the comments section. Come on, let's take a look and I'll show you around the guide so that you can better prepare your home for hurricane season. When you pull up the guide, you'll see that we actually have two Hurricane Ready guides. We have one for your home and one for small businesses. So if you happen to own a small business or you know someone who owns a small business, have them check out the guide for small businesses so that we can help prepare our entire community for hurricane season. Today though, we're going to focus on the home. So we're going to click on Make Your Home Ready, Hurricane Ready. The guide is broken down into 4 sections, and those 4 sections are based on the timeline that you have to prepare. Hurricane season starts on June 1, so we have 100 days right now to prepare with 7 ways to get your home ready for hurricane season. We'll start there in just a moment. The other sections of the guide include low-cost, last-minute prep for an approaching hurricane. Those are those last-minute things you can do right before evacuating for a hurricane when that time comes. If you need that later this year, if a tropical system comes your way, you'll want to check back on that section of the guide. We also have a big section on renovating and re-roofing. We'll dive into that later on in just a moment, and we're going to show you a demonstration to show why your roof is so important. And in the unfortunate event that a hurricane does impact you, we have a few steps on what to do after a hurricane to help you start down that path to recovery. We hope not too many people need that section this year. But to get started on what you can do right now to better prepare your home, let's dive into the 7 ways to get your home ready for hurricane season. It starts by reviewing your insurance policy. Read your insurance policy. Know what it covers, and more importantly, know what it doesn't cover. And while you're at it, go ahead and add your insurance agent's contact information to your phone. In the event that you need to reach them, it'll just be that much simpler to find their contact information if it's already in your phone. Then head outside and take a walk around your house and look at your soffits. Soffits are those vents underneath the eave that overhang your roof. Make sure they're secured in place. Sometimes the wind can get up in there and jostle a few of them loose. Make sure they're secured in place. We've got a short video showing you how to secure them if you find that some of yours are loose. Now that does require you to get up on a ladder, so maybe if you're a DIYer, you're comfortable doing that, but if not, call a local contractor to help you because we want you to stay safe while you're preparing your home. Another big one, inspect your roof and resolve any leaks. This is why it's so important to start this process now, 100 days out from hurricane season. Call that roof inspector, have them come out, and then you still have time to make those repairs before the start of hurricane season. Now, if your roof inspector comes out and tells you that it may be time to replace your roof, we'll tell you exactly what to do then in just a few moments. Another one you can do while you're outside is take a look at your trees. Trimming your trees is a big one. We love our trees, but if you have any dead or dying branches or trees that are around your house, they can cause damage to your home if they fall on them. So go ahead, have them trimmed now. Take down the dead and dying trees and create some space around your home so that your home is better protected if high winds arrive. Then head into your garage and check to see if your garage door has a wind label. Selecting a wind-rated garage door is one of the biggest ways you can better prepare your home for strong winds. The garage door is one of the biggest openings on any home, and making sure it's prepared to take those wind forces is a big deal. Look for a wind label. It's usually a label that says an ASTM standard and then has a number in PSF, that's pounds per square foot. That tells you what it's been tested to. If you can't find a label on your garage door, it may not have been tested or someone may have removed the label. A lot of existing homes, it's hard to find that wind label. But take a look at your garage door because it's a really important piece of your home. If you can, make sure it has that wind label on it. If yours doesn't, maybe consider replacing your garage door. It's a small investment, but it can really protect your home because once the wind can get inside your garage, it pushes up on the roof and the walls around it like a balloon. And that can lead to even more damage. And that cascade of damage is something we definitely want to stop in its tracks. Another big one to do right now, purchase your hurricane shutters. Purchasing those hurricane shutters now means that if tropical weather comes your way, all you have to do is put up your shutters. Make sure you have a plan to get them before hurricane season starts. You don't want to be caught off guard. Plywood should only be used as a last resort because it doesn't provide nearly as much protection as that code-conforming aluminum does that proper hurricane shutters will give you. And the last one, get a whole home generator. That's a big one. It can really help you during any kind of weather event and give your family the comfort of having electricity and keep your home ready to go. That'll help you out through so many different weather events. So those are the 7 things you can do right now. That's maybe one a weekend and still leaves you some free weekends between now and the start of hurricane season. But what if you're willing to tackle a little bit bigger of a project? Let's go back to our guide and head down to the renovating and re-roofing section. This is where you'll find some more costly projects, but these investments in your home can really protect you, not just this year, but for many hurricane seasons to come. Because tropical weather doesn't impact us all every year along the hurricane coastline, but at some point, we will all see a storm come back, and these bigger projects will still be there to protect you. So consider upgrading to impact-resistant skylights or impact-rated windows. Both of those still give you all that natural light we all love, but they're better protection from high winds and flying debris that sometimes gets picked up in storms and hurricanes. And then, most importantly, your roof. Installing a fortified roof. Your roof is your first line of defense against any weather, whether that's a hurricane or just a garden variety thunderstorm. Your roof is what's protecting your family from all that rain and wind that Mother Nature brings. A fortified roof takes all of the years of scientific research here at IBHS and puts it into a simple step-by-step program to help you keep your home safe. Fortified roof is the first level of the Fortified Home program. It's 3 simple steps: nail it down, tape it up, and lock it in to give you a stronger roof and keep the wind and water out. Now, to show you just how important that fortified roof can be and what it means to keep the wind and water out, I'm going to bring in our Chief Engineer, Dr. Gropp. She's going to show us a little fortified roof demonstration today. Hey, Ann, how are you doing?
Hey, Christina, doing well.
Take us through this fortified roof demonstration and show us just how important these, what sound like 3 simple steps, really are.
Yeah, thanks so much. You know, it's really cool that there is more than a decade of research that is built into the Fortified program. But the beautiful thing for you is nobody else has to remember all that. All you have to know is that the fortified roof nails it down, seals it up, and locks it in to keep you and your family safe from all that wind and wind-driven rain, particularly in a hurricane event. So what we've got here in the display right next to me is I've got 2 different roof sections, and I'm going to show you exactly what it means, that step number 2, the seal it up. We're going to take a look at that and see just how important that sealed roof deck portion of the fortified deck is to keeping the water out of your house. So I've got 2 different roofs here. The one right next to me is built conventionally. It is not a fortified roof. The one that's furthest away from me right now is actually built to the fortified standard. Now, this is what it looks like if you take the shingles off your roof. This is the part that you don't see from the outside. So if you just drive up in your driveway, take a look at your roof, you see those beautiful colored shingles. This is the stuff that's underneath those, because what we've seen is those shingles are very vulnerable to high winds and they might fly off. We wanted to have another layer of protection underneath. So what I've got here on the side, this is what's called underlayment. And the one next to me has been attached with staples, which is a very common way to attach the underlayment before you put the shingles on. But it's not very strong. I'm going to pretend to be the wind here in a second and rip it off. The other one, you can already see that there's a clear visual difference. I've got those bright green button caps, which is a stronger way of nailing than staples. We're going to take a look at how tough it is to pull them off, and then we're going to take a look at what happens if I pour some water on it. So I've got this set up. Here's the roof, and here's a nice little thing in front of it that's going to act like our gutter. And we're going to collect the water and show you the difference. So first, let me pretend to be the windstorm, and I'm going to attack this underlayment on the conventional roof. I'm just going to pop it right off, one-handed, and I'm right-handed. So pop that off. This is a very thin piece that is between you and the windstorm. What you've got now is, with that just popped off real quick, you're exposing the plywood. This is the roof. So when you see a house going up in a new neighborhood, you see plywood underneath, and then you see them put on this underlayment. This is what it looks like underneath. And I want to draw your attention to this hole right here. There is a gap between the two pieces of wood. The gap has to be there. But if I'm standing in the attic with the pieces of roof sheathing and underlayment gone, I can look up through this crack and see out. So the crack has to be there to allow the wood to move back and forth. But now this exposed piece of roof has holes in it, just like a kitchen colander. And we're going to see why that's so important here in a minute. Now I'm going to go over to the other side where we've got the fortified underlayment. And I'm going to act like the windstorm again and try to tear this one off. Okay, one-handed, this is not going to work for me. I'm going to have to get a much better grip on it to be able to pop these off. Finally got a piece that's gotten started here. And you can see I'm having to rip at it and tear at it piece by piece to get it to come off. This is a much sturdier application of the underlayment, and I have to really work at it to get this roof deck exposed. That's why we want to make sure that the underlayment is there and set up and ready to protect you from the wind-driven rain. And I want to make sure that I'm exposing the same amount as I had on the other one. You can tell that it's much harder for me to expose this. And what I'm going to do on this one is just get it ripped so that we can tell. Whew! Difference here. You saw exactly how hard it was for me to tear this off. Now, where's my hole? My hole here, it's still there. It's underneath though. It's covered up by this tape. The tape prevents the water from getting into the hole and going down into your attic in case all of that stuff gets ripped off. That is the seal it up portion that's going to keep that wind-driven rain out of your attic and out of your house. Now that I've pretended to be the windstorm and attacked these two roofs and exposed them, I want to draw your attention. The water, I'm going to get some water and pour it down as if there's a wind-driven rain event. I've got a sink gutter thing here in the front that's going to collect all the rainwater that would pour down the roof and collect through the gutter and go out. On the non-fortified side, I've also got a spot that's going to collect all the water that would go down in the attic. So you can see on the side of the display there, I've got some containers that are going to collect that water. If you see a lot of water in the container, that's where it went. And the non-fortified side there, where you can see two places where the water's going to collect, the front one is the gutter, and the back one is going to be the attic. So I'm going to step around back behind these two roofs, and I'm going to get ready to pour some water as if it were raining outside. All right, here we go. One on the fortified and one on the non-fortified. Pouring the water down as if it's raining. You can see it spilling there. That's 500 milliliters per side. And we're going to put one more 500 milliliters on each side. And from here, I can hear the water pouring into the non-fortified side. So now I want to take a look and see what went in the beaker and what didn't. On the fortified side, the water all ran down, and it's in the sink area here, and it's slowly going down into the beaker. I can tell that most of the water has gotten collected by the gutter and is not in the attic. I can even stick my hand under here, and I can feel that it's dry underneath the roof. Moving over to the other side, let's take a look and see how much water we have over here. A tiny bit in the gutter, but most of it is underneath and has gone down through in the attic. If I put my hand here, I can feel that the underside of the roof is totally wet. It's taking the water a bit of time to come down in here, but most of it has gone straight into the attic. That soaking rainwater coming into your attic can cause massive amounts of damage inside your house. For every 1 inch of rain that falls on a typical 2,000 square foot roof, if it's exposed just like this is and allows the water to come in through the roof, the amount of rain that you get for each 1 inch of rain that falls is 9 bathtubs worth of water into your house. Now, I've seen firsthand what that can do. It soaks the insulation, and then that ceiling just comes down and tries to just mess up your entire house. Christina, hopefully everybody has gotten a chance to see just how much water pours right into their attic.
That's right.
If you don't have the fortified roof details.
That's right, and it's such a powerful demonstration of what can happen in your attic once those shingles that you're so used to seeing blow off of your roof. Now, you mentioned you know about this firsthand. Take us back to that 2004 hurricane season and share your story with us.
Oh, absolutely. So 2004 hurricane season, my parents who live in Central Florida, this is exactly what they had. The only damage that occurred to their house was they lost probably 20 or 25% of the shingles, but it exposed the roof deck and the water came pouring in. After Hurricane Jeanne, I was at their house. I actually had to use a broomstick to poke holes in the ceiling in the kitchen to let the water come down into the kitchen so that it wouldn't drop the ceiling on our heads.
Wow. Wow. And it's these simple 3 steps that can make such a difference, and you don't see them from the outside. It's what's underneath the shingles that give you so much protection. Now, across the country, we have more than 20,000 fortified homes, and the highest concentration are down in Mobile and Baldwin counties in Alabama. Now, you may recall that just last year, Hurricane Sally, a Category 2 hurricane, crawled its way into Gulf Shores, Alabama. Now, I say crawled because it was moving at just 2 to 3 miles per hour when it made landfall, which meant these homes suffered hours of heavy rain and driving winds. And those homeowners, about 18,000 of them were protected by Fortified. After the storm, we went back down there and we talked to some of them. And as we talked to them, it became clear that Fortified roof doesn't just impact one family who is protected by that roof, but Fortified roof, it helps the whole community. Take a listen to one of our Fortified homeowners down in Orange Beach.
You know, one of the biggest blessings that I've been able to see is myself not having any damage because I have a fortified roof and I didn't have the need for tarps and I didn't have the water and storm damage. As I've been able to use my time that I had when I would be working on my house to help others. And that's one of the biggest things people need right now is help. You know, knocking on doors and meeting some of your neighbors for the first time, saying, hey, what can I do to help? And you know, putting tarps up and taking carpet and furniture to the road. I've been able to, me and my family, we've been able to help others out because we didn't have any damage. So definitely feel blessed.
I don't know if you could see it on the stream, but I have chills from listening to his words. The power of a fortified roof, taking the time to invest that little bit extra when it's time to re-roof can pay so many dividends, both for the homeowner and the community when we see hurricanes come ashore. We can do something about this damage. We're not powerless. Things like a fortified roof can really make a difference. Now remember, the Hurricane Ready Guide also has those last-minute tips that in the event you do see a hurricane or a tropical storm come your way, come back to the Hurricane Ready Guide then and check out the low-cost, last-minute prep for an approaching hurricane season. More quick things you can do right before an evacuation. But right now, over the next 100 days, challenge you to do just as many of these 7 items as you can to make your home better prepared for the 2021 hurricane season. The countdown is on. We hope that you've learned a little something today and have a guide to help you prepare your home both today and in the next 100 days to come, as well as throughout the hurricane season that, as always, runs June 1 to November 30th. Before we go, a big thank you to our crew behind the scenes helping us produce today's video, all within our coronavirus safety protocols. Ian Giamanco, Aubrey Marcinko, and Lauren Wilson. And a big thank you to Dr. Ann Cope for lending us some of her time to take us through today's demonstration. Disastersafety.org/hurricane ready. Go check out the guide and make your home better prepared for hurricane season, as we're all trying to be hurricane ready.